afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again to Walk the Talk Sports. And it is, I'll say it many times, and I'll say it again, it is the best sports talk show south of the Big Apple, east of the city of brotherly love. And here we are today in front of a live audience. In the music room at our beautiful Encore facility here at Leisure Village West. I would like to thank KLVW-TV once again. Mike and Bill, super job, take a bow, fantastic as far as changing our venues from show to show, which Alex and I gladly appreciate. So I'll get back to the music room. Now, Alex's San Diego Padres beat my New York Mets, the Amazings, this past weekend, hitting all the high notes. So I'll let Alex talk about his great Padres team and their 2 out of 3 game wins as far as winning the series. Alex, take it away.
Thanks, Rob. And thanks for all of you being here today for the show. First of all, before we start, it would only be fit if I first would have Rob check my ears. Now, if you didn't watch
Wait, let me grip a ball. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing on there. You're all right. I'm sorry. Yep, you're right.
You'd have to watch the series to understand.
Very good, Alex.
So, no, as Rob said, it was exciting weekend of the wild card series. Yes, my San Diego Padres beat the Mets. Yes, every day was I on the phone with Rob. So, Rob was out of town. I think he left town because he knew the outcome and he knew what would happen and everything. So, all kidding aside, it was awesome. It was awesome to see the Padres in there. I'm going to live it up today because I'll go over tonight's lineup, and obviously my Padres play the Dodgers, probably one of their worst teams to play throughout the entire series, the entire season. So I'm not excited about playing the Dodgers. They're definitely, I feel, they're the team to beat. But to touch on the wild card series, we had Seattle Mariners sweep Toronto.
That's one. That's right.
Cleveland sweep Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. We had the Phillies sweep the Cardinals. And yes, we had your San Diego Padres beat the Mets 2-1 in a 3-game series. So, it was a great series. The only thing I can touch on, one thing I'll touch on, I'm excited that their bats are coming alive. They're hitting the ball well. But in Game 3, a great little story is Joe Musgrove, the pitcher for the Padres. Local kid, grew up in San Diego. So it was exciting for him to win that game. He played for Grossmont High School. It was in the same as you all know, I grew up in San Diego. So living in San Diego.
No, you can't tell that, right? Because all this San Diego stuff.
Yeah. So I actually went to Santana High School, and we were in the same district. It'd be like Manchester playing Jackson. That's how close it was. So great to see a local kid get in there. Obviously, he's been in the big leagues a few years, but to end up on the Padres and to win that final game for him. So tonight's another story. Like I said, we meet the Dodgers, and
best out of 5 now, not best out of 3.
Best out of 5.
And I'll just give up the matchups as far as now the next round of games go. I keep on saying the Indians, but it is the Guardians versus the Yankees. Seattle versus the Astros, which would be a good series. I think Seattle is ready to compete. I think tonight they have Verlander, the Astros, going for them. He's their best pitcher, but you never know. Dodgers and Padres. I said this even before the Mets started the series with the Padres. It wasn't a good match. Sometimes in sports when teams play each other, it's just not a good match. And I felt Padres, I didn't want to play them because for some crazy reason, we don't match up well with them. But we match up better with the Dodgers. So there you go. Why? I don't know. So, but that should be a good series. But a buddy of mine just texted me a few minutes ago, the Phillies today, they're playing this afternoon, are leading the Atlanta Braves 4-1, I think in the 4th inning. So good for the Philadelphia Phillies. Being a Mets fan for years, the Braves, Atlanta always pounded us, and to this day they do. We couldn't win a game down in Atlanta to come in first place. But I think the good matchup is the Phillies and the Braves instead of the Cardinals, because the Phillies can punch for punch as far as their lineup. They can match up pretty well with Atlanta, and they have 2 starting or 3 starting pitchers that really can win games compared to the Cardinals. So this next round is very exciting. I'm sure Alex is probably going to stay up late. I don't know how he's going to get to work the following morning, being that it's the West Coast. Sorry, it's no longer East Coast time now, Alex, but it should be very exciting.
So with the series that are getting ready to take place, I mean, it'd be crazy for us not to mention, and I told our good buddy, John the Fisherman Kovar.
Yes.
He insisted that I mention hashtag 62.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Obviously John, as well as a lot of the village, are big Yankee fans, but all the props to we got some Yankee fans in the audience.
Right.
But Aaron Judge, what can you say? 62 home runs. He's got it coming to him. He gave up at the beginning of the season with the Yankees. They offered him $213 million.
That's all.
And and he gave it up. He played out the season, but I mean, good gosh, wait till what he asked for now. And they have a choice to pay him, or let me guess, he'll become a Met.
Well, let's see. Uncle Stevie's got the check written out already, but we'll see what happens if they cash it. But he'll be a Yankee. He'll be the next captain. I'm sure once the Yankees sign him to a long-term contract, he will. I mean, I just can't see Judge in another uniform besides the Yankees. But I'll just close out. You have anything else as far as baseball? To my fellow Met fans. Look, out of sorrow comes joy. Out of despair comes hope. For us Met fans, there are times we're overjoyed just making the playoffs. Not like our crosstown rivals who are entitled to it every year. But in past years, and I'll say this to all the Met fans, we've had ownership that really, once they made the playoffs, they didn't care. Besides that, that's it. They banked that money, whatever they did. But now we have an owner, and this is where the hope comes in, out of despair, is that we have an owner who grew up a diehard Met fan and will do anything next year and for the future of this amazing franchise to bring this team to the next level. And that's the hope that we have going into next year and the year after that. So those are my closing comments. I'll close the books on the New York Mets, the amazing Mets, and that's a wrap. So baseball, for me, is over. I'll root for the Yankees. I just want the Braves to lose. That's all I can say.
You're not going to root for my team.
Oh, I root for your team, sure. I don't want the Dodgers to win either. Right. Now, San Diego, correct me if I'm wrong, has never won a World Series, correct? They've been to the World Series, but they've never won. So there you go. Correct. We need a new team out there to raise that trophy up. Yes. Okay.
And I'm just counting on the theory of that sleeper team. I found myself bragging up the Padres last night to the Lombardo family, and then I feel that I was attacked. I was attacked by Stephanie Lombardo, Rob's daughter. And Rob sat quiet. He sat quiet on our text messages.
I did.
And then after about 6 text messages, Rob jumped on there and started beating on me. I don't know what else to tell this.
Well, once Stephanie showed me that graphic that she sent about Tatis, you have a shot, and then she showed the needle because he was you know, he got caught taking the PEDs, whatever you call it. And I laughed so much, I said, I can't let this go. That Stephanie opened the door wide open for me, Alex. I mean, really.
It's all good.
But, no, it is. It's all in fun. And of course, my wife, Natalie, said, Rob, she goes, where do you think she learned that from? And there you go. I would have to take the blame for that, take the hit for that. So, all right. So baseball's that. I gave you the Philly and Braves score. Hopefully I'll get updated by the end of the show. But now we move on to football. Now, do you believe the Giants are 4-1, the Philadelphia Eagles are 5-0, and then the Cowboys are 4-1? But this is the shocker. Now, I'm a Raider fan, but then, I grew up a Jet fan. The Jets have a better record than the Las Vegas Raiders. How do you figure that? The Jets are 3-2. Vegas, after losing to the Chiefs last night, are 1-4. Is this world turned upside down? Are the football gods looking down on us? I don't know. Alex, I can't explain it. I know you're laughing inside. Don't blush too much, Alex.
No, we've talked about it before. We obviously Mets, Padres, and that's what makes us so different.
Right.
Obviously, I'm the West Coast guy, and so obviously we have this rivalry between the Raiders and the Chargers.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a Charger guy. So, but trust me, I was rooting for your Raiders last night. I was really hoping that they would pull off a victory because, the Chiefs. I need every little bit of help I can get to catch up with them.
Yeah.
So, but I'm good. The Chargers. I'm good where we're at. We're sitting in second place. Our time will come again when we meet the Chiefs. We should have beat them on that Thursday night.
That's right. I agree with that. Yep.
But the Chargers are looking good. We got it. I bragged at the beginning of the season on this show about everything we did to build up that defense, and man, I just don't know. They're just getting scored on a lot.
Well, they're injuries. I mean, that's
But they're pulling it off. They squeaked it out this week against Cleveland. Trust me, I was sitting on the edge of my seat at the end of that one. But a win is a win. I'll take it. But again, I definitely was rooting for your Raiders last night. But how do you I'm sitting at home, and again.
Let me ask you a question though, Alex. In that game, when they went for the 2 points instead of hitting the extra point and tying the game, they would have tied the game, wouldn't they? Right, because they lost 30-29.
Correct.
So they went for the 2-point conversion instead of just hitting the extra point and tying the game. Would you have done the same thing, going for the 2-point conversion instead of just hitting the extra point? I know you're putting the ball back in Mahomes' hands with time on the clock, but what would...
I don't know. I guess it's just, in today's football, look at my Chargers. My coach, he loves going for it on fourth down. He doesn't matter where they're at.
I understand. That's the game today, but for the psyche, for the team, like you tied the game. We tied it, okay? So now it's a new game. But then if you don't make that, the 2-point conversion, you can, and now he's getting the ball. You know what I'm saying?
No,
it could have gone either way. You're right. And if they would have made that 2-point, then it would have been different. But then again, you have left time on the clock for Mahomes to come down the field and
you got
instead
Kelsey.
of running. There you go.
4 touchdowns.
Right.
So, good game.
Right. So next week now, I'm going to tell you the slate of games, and there are really some great games in football next week. You have the Bills traveling to Kansas City. That's the late Sunday game. You have the Ravens, Baltimore, playing the Giants in the early game. You have the Jets going to Green Bay. And I think Sunday night, this is a matchup. You got the Cowboys, Dallas, going to Philadelphia Eagles on the Sunday night game. So good games to watch next week. Plus, baseball is still on the slate. So, there's a lot of good sports to talk about, and I can't wait for the next show once we get started with that. So, briefly, I just want to say, touch base. I just want to touch college football. Go ahead.
But real quick, before we get off the NFL, I don't know if you heard. I think I read today, and obviously they could be rumors, but you and I had a conversation about the Bills.
Yeah,
I know they're getting a little bit cocky.
Yes.
They're getting a little bit of. I guess I read on the wire today that they're trying to pick up McCaffrey. that Carolina's going to let him go. But I don't know if it's a rumor. I don't know if it's talk. But we talked about the Bills. You know, the Bills are what they are, a great, talented team. I was a little bit disappointed this weekend when they played the Steelers. I think there were some cheap shots to their rookie quarterback.
They took some cheap shots at Pickett, the rookie quarterback out of Pittsburgh. It was uncalled for. They were up 20, I think 30-something to 3. Yeah. I mean, guys, you don't do that. But look, what goes around comes around. The Buffalo Bills are the best team in that conference. Could be the best team in the AFC. We'll have a lot to say as we go down the road because, once again, you got to go through Kansas City. So we'll see. But, you know, like I said, what goes around comes around. And I don't like the style they play football, especially when a team is up big. That's like in baseball when you're up 10-1 and you're stealing bases or you're trying to bunt. Guys, show some respect. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's old school, but that's the way we used to play. And if you're going to diss somebody like that, beware because, like I said, payback is you know what. Go ahead, Alex.
No, you were on college. Go ahead.
All right, yes.
Yeah, we're good with NFL.
Now, as you know, my daughter works for the athletic department up in Rutgers, and she works in the fundraising and all that. And we had many discussions about their offense, Rutgers, and I'm talking about football. And when you're in a conference of the Big Ten, when you go up against schools like Michigan, Ohio State, guys, you better have some kind of offense. You cannot play musical chairs with your quarterback, coming in for a set of downs, leaving it for a set of downs. Their defense is decent. Their special team, because Shiano is a great defensive side of the ball coach. But their offense, the past 2 or 3 years, it was nowhere. And you can't compete in the Big Ten. So hopefully they released him. They let him go this past week. And then we'll see what they go. We'll see what they do. We'll see if there's any improvement, because there has to be. Because, man, I tell you, I used to cringe every time they used to bring the quarterback out, bring him back in. Guys, you got to score points in this conference or else you're going to go nowhere. And that's about it. That's a wrap on Rutgers.
The only thing I have, college football, obviously, there was a lot of great games this weekend. And usually every show I'll break down, you know, the AP poll. I don't even have the poll on me. The only thing I want to talk about college, if you have it, great. The only thing I have about college football is I am really, really excited. You know, one of the things on my bucket list, you know, I don't know if you all know, is that myself, I'm an Army veteran, and I've always wanted to. It's always been on my bucket list too. And so this Saturday with some of our friends, we're going to travel up to West Point and watch the Army game. And I'm like super pumped for this. I'm really excited for it.
Great time of year to be up there with the fall. I came back from Vermont and I said to myself, you guys, if you have a weekend like we had last weekend, it's going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome. I wish, why did I have to miss it babysitting? But okay. So I'll just give you the AP poll as far as the top 10 teams. Georgia is in first, holds the first seed. Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Michigan. Tennessee moved up. USC, Oklahoma State. Ole Miss is the 9th spot, and Penn State is the 10th spot. That's the AP poll as far as the colleges go, their standings. Now, as you can see in the background behind my shoulder here is the New York Ranger jersey. We're going to get into hockey. The season's about to open up tonight at MSG. They open up against the team that eliminated them last year, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I'm excited for the new hockey season. And to be honest, and I had this discussion with my 2 older brothers, they're going to make the playoffs, the Rangers, but I think their play is going to take a dip a little. And the reason I say that is they're not going to surprise anybody. They're not going to sneak up on anybody this year. People know the type of team they are. So it should be, like I said, though, they will make the playoffs, but as far as that having that hype season, it's going to be down a tier. But I'm looking forward to an exciting season as far as all. And of course, the early favorites as far as the Stanley Cup, which is the championship in hockey, the Colorado Avalanche, are favored to do a repeat. They won the Stanley Cup last year. They're favored to win it again. The Tampa Bay Lightning still ranked second. They're Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. So Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Great. I'll stay up tonight and watch the 2 games. Besides baseball, I'll stay up and watch the Padres too, Alex. And that's a wrap on hockey. Anything?
Hockey, you know, hockey, when we started this thing together, hockey is Rob's deal. It's his passion.
Yeah.
Come on, I grew up in Southern California. So
Where's that Frisbee?
yeah, so you know when it comes to hockey, but you know what? As we talked about on our last show, I mean, we have a grandson that's like an incredible hockey player, nationally ranked, plays in all these tournaments all over the country. So I'm slowly educating myself about the game of hockey, and so I am excited this year. You know, I just told Priscilla last night. I said, you know, I plan on making a couple trips up with Rob and seeing the Rangers play. So I'm definitely excited to get into that side of sports.
It is. It's exciting. I went to the first round of the playoffs last year against Pittsburgh. And look, as a hockey fan over the years, there is nothing that compares to playoff hockey. You walk into the Madison Square Garden, and before you even hit the arena, it just builds and builds and builds. And it's just... I was there in '94, and I'll tell this funny story. The Rangers should have won in 4 against the team Vancouver from the West Coast, and I was still working down Wall Street, and I was desperate. And I've told this story many times, and I had a Ranger schedule in my pocket, and I went to the Catholic Church, Our Lady of Victory, off of Pine Street, and I put that schedule on the statue of St. Jude. Now, St. Jude is the patron saint of the impossible. Like, God help us, this is it. We're desperate. And I did it, and they won Game 7. And when I went to Game 2 of that series, I had my ticket laminated. And to this day, I tell my wife, Natalie, when I go, that ticket is coming up to me, because that ticket is my ticket to get to where I want to go. True story, but thank you. Yep.
You know,
that's it.
It's just a shame you didn't put that same emphasis on St. Jude with the Padres Mets. That's all
But
right.
you know why?
But I'm
going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because I've seen the Mets win. I remember '69. I remember '86. I did not see the Rangers win the Cup, or my 2 older brothers. So when as a kid, 8 years old, 9 years old, and I used to cry every year they used to get eliminated, and my older brother used to come to me and goes, don't worry, next year. And little did I know, it was the year after that, and the year after that. Finally in '94, we did it. And they were the best team from the beginning to the end. And I've told Alex this many times also. Baseball I love, and baseball I know. Hockey is my passion. There's something about hockey. I've played baseball, but it's just like hockey is my passion, and you get my nerves going. And in the early, I would say mid-'80s, when the Islanders were on the New York Islanders were winning their 4 cups, I started dating Natalie. We started going out, and she used to question, why do you hate the Islanders so much? Why? And I had to simplify it and explain to her. It's like a new toy. They have 4. I just want 1. I don't want 4 new toys. I just want 1 cup. That's it, and I'll be happy. So she explained it, and over the years, she got used to it. And she knew when my team lost, I didn't have to say a word, and she would look at me and go, you know, Rob, why do you wear it on your sleeve? But I guess, I don't know. That's the way it is. But we'll move on. We'll move on to bigger and better things. All right. Now also, in 2 weeks, or maybe I think next week, the NBA season is going to open up. So they're ready to start the slate on that. I mean, the Knicks with Jason Brunson, who, look, my oldest daughter went to Villanova. We got 2 guys on the Knicks, Archie DiGiacomo and Jason Brunson, who played for Villanova under Jay Wright. So I'm excited. But the Knicks, look, they can't be as bad as they were last year. 2 years ago, they made the playoffs. Everybody thought, yeah, we're on our way. Then last year, they took a step back, or a few steps back. But this year, I think they're going to be pretty good. The Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, well, look, if they can avoid all the stuff that goes off the court, you know what, and just play basketball, I think they'll make, they'll be up there, one of the three top teams in the East in the NBA, because then you got the 76ers who look awesome again, and so do you have the Celtics. And just one quick final note on basketball. The LA Lakers, if they stop whining, I lost my thought. What was his name? LeBron, the great LeBron. If he stays away from politics and just plays basketball, the Lakers would be fine, I think, out in the West. So that's a wrap on basketball. It starts, I think, in 2 weeks. So we look forward to that. And anything else you want to add about basketball or? Okay.
I'm good.
I'm just going to get into quickly soccer for our soccer fans out there. The Italian League, I have the standings. Top 5 teams are Napoli, Atlanta, Udinese, AC Milan, and Roma. Those are the 5 teams. Now, the championship is going on, the championship series. What that is in soccer, and I hope some of the English fans can correct me if I'm wrong, is that they play other countries. It's a championship round. You get the top 3 teams of each division, whether it be in England, Italy, or Spain, and they call it in the championship series. That has just started, so I'll have more information on that as we go in the coming weeks or whatever, and that's a wrap up on soccer. One last note on golf. Tom Kim won the Shriners Children's Open in Las Vegas this past weekend. He shot a 24 under. And it went down to the final, I guess, 3 rounds. He beat Patrick Cantley, who I was amazed. And, as a golfer, look, I'm not the best, but when you see a golfer take out a 3-wood, which was the right club to play it safe off the tee, and he puts it out of bounds, and he took like 4 or 5 shots to get it onto the fairway. I said, man, that makes me, I know he feels terrible. That makes me feel good because there is hope, But Tom Kim won that, the Shriners Children's Tournament out in Las Vegas. And for me, that's a wrap.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna get ready to land this plane here. So on the last, I'll save that till the end. So in our last couple shows, we've talked about the importance of local sports, local high schools and stuff. Obviously, when we started this a few weeks ago, we were pretty pumped up. It was early in the year. I don't know what has happened. After the show, I might have to ask I'll mention in a minute, my celebrity guest. But when we talk about Manchester Township, when we talk about Jackson Liberty, Manchester started out of the gate at 2-0, and all of a sudden we just have 4 losses, bam, bam, bam. So now we're sitting at a 2-4 record. I know they play this Friday. I know we're going to the Army game on Saturday, but I would love to go over to Manchester and see the game. I've been wanting to get over there. I think there's only 2 more games left, I believe, in the season. But sitting at 2-4, same record with Jackson Liberty. They're sitting at 2-4 as well. So what we had thought about at the beginning, and we started talking about high schools. And I know they have a new coach this year, Coach Farrell. Maybe some things would be a little bit different. Maybe it's a growing thing, but they had some struggles. They've been beat up a little bit the last 4 games, so they're sitting at a 2-4 record. Two other topics. We discussed the last couple of shows about folks in the village here, and obviously we've got to have a lot of talented grandchildren and family members that play sports of some kind. We touched on several of them in the last couple of shows. On most of the shows, you'll see Rob and I's emails at the bottom of the screen. We invite you to email us your information. If you have a family member, a grandchild, someone that's been done something in sports that you'd love for us to mention on the show, we'd love to do that. As well as local sports in the village. We talked about golf, tennis, bocce, pickleball, different things like that. Anything that that's going on, please email us, and would love to talk about it. But what I do want to talk about, we didn't get an email this show, and there's no need for an email because I don't think they know it. But right here live today, we have a celebrity in the audience. So we have Jack Fuller and his wife Kathy. So let me tell you just a little bit about, and it's been so awesome and blessed to be able to meet them and become friends with them, with Jack and his wife Kathy. So do you know that Jack was a coach for the 1996 Toms River, the Pop Warner, the Pee Wee National Champions in 1996. On that team was Todd Frazier.
Frazier Flav.
People's labeled Todd as the Toms River Little League kid. Did you know I learned that they not only was he on that 1996 National Championship Pop Warner team, he also in that year won the punt, pass, and kick contest.
That I didn't know.
Absolutely.
Wow,
So it's exciting to get to know these things.
That's a great tidbit.
And back to high school sports this last week. Jack and Kathy invited Priscilla and I to come out and watch Brick High School play. Their son is a coach for Brick High School. It was a great time to watch. Unfortunately, Brick lost to Ocean. And I know as we were leaving, I never told Jack and Kathy this, but yes, we were in the end zone when we caught that last 30-second left in the game. Ocean runs it in for whatever that was, a 60-yard touchdown, and 30 seconds left to even build up the score. But it was a great night. I appreciate their friendship. I appreciate, and who knows, who knows in the future, maybe if I get with them closer to the World Series, I think that would be ideal. Wouldn't it be exciting if we had like a guest speaker here with us?
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see.
I tell you, Stephanie, my daughter, would love Todd Frazier because she follows him on social media, and he's got all the hot spots, sandwich places to go in Toms River, and she gets some information from that. That would be awesome, Alex.
So,
that would be amazing.
So give it up to Jack and Kathy. Thank you for being here. And all I have left is...
He saves the best for last.
Best for last. So you know that we've talked about that we have here in Leisure Village, we have our own Leisure Village Fantasy Football 2022. So as our season's going on, folks are doing all right. Alex, I'll come right out and say Alex is sitting in second place. We got Sam Carrillo. That guy's sitting at 5-0. Where'd that come from?
He's like his
He
Giants.
told us at the beginning he knew nothing about fantasy football.
That's it.
I think that he fed us a line. But the only thing I want to mention on here is you've got. Let me see. Where's he at here?
Again, I'll say it, Alex. I'm not shy. I'm not bashful. I'll say it.
My friend and my partner here, not only is he a Raiders fan, and what are they?
They're 1-4, Alex. Yes, they are. 1-4.
Then we've got the latest debacle with the Padres beating the Mets. Then we have fantasy football. This guy is brave enough to call himself Team Raiders Rule. So Robert Lombardo, he as well as in the Leisure Village Fantasy League, is sitting at
1-4.
1-4.
Just like the Las Vegas Raiders are 1-4.
Absolutely.
And I'm with my nephews and cousins in Connecticut. I am 1-4.
So that's how I'm going to end it, Rob. I don't know what else you got, but I'm just going to end it with fantasy football. And there we go.
But guys, once again, live audience, thank you so much. Mike and Bill, KLVW-TV. It was a wonderful stay here. We'll do it again. And remember, everyone, keep it between the lines. Thank you.
Great job. Great job.